Hey guys, Trojan here. Welcome back to the Sword Art Online Marathon. Now, before we get started, I actually have a quick announcement to make. I recently found out that there's actually a fifth Sword Art Online game called Excel World versus Sword Art Online Millennium Twilight. I'm not going to cover it for this review. My plate's full enough as it is already with the 4 videos I already promised. Plus, I don't know the first thing about Excel World. I might cover it at some point in the future, just not now. So, back to the regularly scheduled programming. Last time, we started the Sword Art Online Marathon, and it got off to a pretty good start with Hollow Fragment offering up a pretty good alternate continuity to the anime and giving us a way better story. So, let's see if the sequel can carry that momentum. This is Sword Art Online Lost Song.
So, after escaping from Sword Art Online, Kirito and his friends have started playing a new VR MMO called Alfheim Online.
Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that after spending 2 years trapped in a virtual world, they just turned around and went right back in? But that doesn't make... What? Oh, whatever.
Anyway, as I was saying, Kirito and his friends have started playing a new VR MMO called Alfheim Online, or ALO for short. Based on Norse mythology, ALO is a PvP-focused MMO where players pick a race and duke it out with the other races in a fight for the top. Lost Song begins after the game's first major expansion is released, called Svartalfheim. The expansion takes the form of several islands full of dungeons to clear, with a major ruin in the center of each one. Kirito's friend group is racing to be the first group of players to clear the new content, but they have fierce competition in the form of a very large guild called Shamrock, led by a girl named Seven.
And that's all I can really say about the plot itself without spoiling anything. I mean, it gets deeper than that, but overall the plot feels pretty inconsequential. If anything, it feels like a filler arc. The interesting part about this, though, is, once again, how the game reinterprets characters from the anime.
First up is Argo, the information broker who appeared in exactly one episode of the anime. She was also in Hollow Fragment, but by now she's become a key member of Kirito's inner circle. I'm a pretty big fan of Argo, to be perfectly honest. She picks on Kirito relentlessly, and it's pretty funny.
Just like the last time, they introduced a character earlier than in the anime.
The character in question is Yuki, first introduced in the Mother's Rosario arc in the 2nd season. In fact, the game pretty much includes a note-for-note adaptation of the Mother's Rosario arc way earlier than in the anime. In that arc, Kirito and Asuna meet a really strong player named Yuki, who quickly becomes very close with Asuna. She ends up asking the two of them to help her guild, the Sleeping Knights, defeat the strongest boss in the game before they have to disband.
And then it gets really sad.
The game also introduces a few new characters. As I mentioned before, the Shamrock Guild that is competing with Kirito's group is led by Seven, a 12-year-old girl who is a world-renowned VR researcher with an actual PhD who's real. Honest-to-God name is Dr. Rainbow Archivin, who's also a pop idol. Oh my god. The other character is Rain, a mysterious girl who seems very interested in Kirito's group but is too shy to approach them.
While feeling like a filler arc, the story is actually still pretty entertaining, and the characters are once again more interesting than their anime counterparts. So, let's move on.
The graphics are a pretty big improvement from last time. The colors are nice and vibrant, but the animations leave a little to be desired. Like the last game, as far as I'm aware, this was also a Vita game that got ported to the PS4. It looks good for the Vita, but it's still pretty mediocre for PS4 standards. I, once again, have a problem with the way the story is presented. Yep, the visual novel style cutscenes are back, and they're somehow even worse. Now the portraits don't even change. Thankfully, the cutscenes are not generally as long as last time, so at least I didn't feel compelled to skip them. The music's pretty good too, but it's nothing I'd hum myself to afterwards. Once again, the voice acting is Japanese only. In fact, in order to save time in the future, I'm just going to mention that it's true for the next 2 games as well. I know last time I said I really didn't care, but at this point it's starting to feel pretty lazy.
Overall, the presentation's gotten a little bit better than the last game. So, let's talk about the gameplay.
Just like the last game, this one is also trying to emulate MMOs, but it has a very different combat system. Instead of the auto battle system from last time, Lost Song has a much more standard action combat system. You can perform both light and heavy attacks with sword skills to perform. New to the combat system is magic, with different characters having access to different spells. It's pretty cool. Speaking of different characters, this time around you can bring 2 extra characters into the field with you for a party of 3, and even better, you can take control of characters other than Kirito. The other characters have access to their own equipable weapons, spells, and skills, and it's really fun to try them all out.
The coolest thing about this game, though, is the ability to fly.
In the anime, the biggest draw for ALO was the ability to fly, so of course, you can do it here too. The fields that you get to explore are pretty big and open, and it's a hell of a lot of fun to fly around them. There are also a lot of enemies all around the fields, and it makes grinding pretty easy. The main downside to the gameplay is that the AI for your party members is, once again, just atrocious. There's also a blacksmith shop again, but it's nowhere near as overpowered as last time, and I didn't really use it that much. However, a major removal from the game is the pillow talk and the relationship system as a whole. Don't worry though, there's still plenty of fan service.
Overall, the story of this game, while enjoyable, is filler at best. The presentation, while better than last time, is still lacking, but the gameplay is a ton of fun. So, my final rating for Sword Art Online Lost Song is a 7 out of 10. I'm not gonna lie, this game series is starting to get pretty damn good. It's definitely an improvement over last time. If you enjoyed Hollow Fragment, give this one a shot. I'm pretty sure you'll like it, especially if you're a big SAO fan. So, with that, we're officially halfway through the Sword Art Online marathon. So we're going to keep things moving. I'll see you guys next time for Sword Art Online Hollow Realizations. With all that said, I'm the Trojan with Digital Bloodlines. Thank you guys very much for watching. Have a good night.
キリトくん
リーは
まったくもう先にログインしちゃうなんてどれだけ待ちきれないのよ
すまん
しょうがないんだからでもついにこの時が来たんだね
あれが新しく実装されたエリア光と闇の神々が住まう伝説の浮島大陸スバルト・アルブヘイムか